Hey, what is up, guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be looking at Sox's Ricky. This guy, honestly, the amount of impact he was able to have in the mid game is incredible. And if you're looking for a hero that plays well into the mid game, Ricky is the support, 100%. This hero is, the amount of impact you can have on Ricky's support is honestly incredible. So let's really break it down and see why this hero is so dominant in the mid game. Also, I want to tell you guys that if you've been struggling with solo queue and you're looking to get to the next rank, I'm going to be able to help you. Like, literally, with the Game Leap website, I'm going to give you guys guides that are going to make it unbelievably clear on what you need to do. So if you've been stuck in the solo queue grind, you don't know what to do, and you want to become absolutely broken, but like actually you want to become much better at Dota, and you want to take it more seriously, the Game Leap website is going to help you do that. So click the link down below. I'm going to help you get to the next rank, and I'll see you there. Now, honestly, Ricky's biggest weakness is he's not a laning stage dominator. He has pretty good base stats. His base strength, agi, and int aren't the best, but like his movement speed, damage, and armor is okay. So you can trade well with the position 5, and that's primarily what you're looking to do. So I'm not going to look too much into the lane. Basically, just drag the wave if the lane is really hard, right? Go in between the tier 1 and tier 2. Drag the wave if the lane's really bad, or trade with the position 5. They got first blood on Rubik in the lane. From there, the main thing he does for the first literally 12 minutes of the game is put down good vision and contest the runes. At 6 minutes, he's mid lane, contesting the rune. From there, he picks up the bounty rune and helps out Visage a bit. He's in the area, just wants to make sure Visage is gonna get a pretty clean level 6. Terrorblade Rubik is definitely a lane that has quite a bit of threat on Visage, and so I do like the fact that he's just kind of in the area, making sure his buddy 33 is okay. From there, he TP's mid. A bit of an overextension from Stormer on the Ember Spirit means a free kill for Soxa, or 9 in this case, and then he's gonna roam into the jungle. Unfortunately, he was scouted out by a ward on his way here, but look at this warding. Really cute ward here. Not placing it on the hill. I bet, is that out of sentry range of the hill? It might be. So avoiding the sentry of this hill and maybe this hill. It's going to be close. Perhaps you want to place this ward here. I don't know. But yeah, gets down a really deep ward and once again shifts his way back to bottom. Is going to soak some XP from the small camp pole here, which is good. You really want to focus on getting your level 6 and then making plays from there. Another thing Soxa does is he saps a little bit of med XP from the mid wave at 930 here. Basically, 9's Panga went bottom, and he understands he's not useless, obviously, but he's just not that useful. So instead, he can sap some XP from the mid wave and then look to actually stack the large camp. Using tricks of the trade to get up the hill, he goes for the stack. I think he actually doesn't get this one. He made the classic mistake of using an ability on this stupid Dark Troll Summoner, which just griefs every stack. Always try to nuke this creep if you're gonna try to stack this camp. You gotta remember that, guys. Soxa kind of panicked there and just nuked the first creep he saw, and unfortunately it was the death creep. So yeah, he didn't get the stack as he contests or looks to contest another 10-minute rune and back to mid lane. So you can see, early game, you don't really do a lot. You're not looking to make a lot of big plays. In fact, you're pretty happy if nothing happens in the game. That's honestly best case scenario for support Ricky early game, because frankly, he just doesn't do that much. 13 minutes in is where things start to get really interesting. Like Sox's plays here, I feel like, I'm not gonna say they win the game, because that would be a complete over-exaggeration, but the plays he makes here are absolutely broken. He's gonna head into the triangle. He's level 6, so obviously he's invisible. He's got 4 sentries to his name, some mana regen, some survivability, which I think is important. I'm a big fan of this item build on Ricky. And then he's got 1 obs, which he can place down at any point. He's gonna block this camp deep, and that's very important. You don't want to put the sentries like here and here, because then 1 sentry ward can take both of them out. You want to split them up a bit, so you can't place a sentry and deward both. In fact, usually I've even seen more players put the sentry here. I don't really know why he puts it here, but either way, maybe he just expects them to try to deward. Like, you can put down sentries in like this spot. This spot's pretty common. You can put it literally like behind the camp. It's so 8. And yeah, the enemy will just not have a triangle. Just gone. From there, you one-shot couriers because of backstab, right? So as long as you hit the courier from the back, I love hitting it from the back, you just one-shot the courier. From there, he's actually going to find the Terrorblade's courier as well. And people don't understand, guys, couriers are worth a ton of gold. The Rubik's courier was 50 gold each. The Terrorblade's courier is 65 gold each. That's almost like 650 gold for the site of Tundra. That's like a double kill. It is, just not with the XP, which is the big difference, to be fair. But it's an insane amount of gold to the side of Tundra. Really valuable. From there, he blocks another camp. And this one is so annoying because if the support doesn't have a way to cut trees, they can't even get rid of it. Like, what are you supposed to do? I don't even know. So he's going to prevent a potential stack here and snipe the last hit, of course, right? Just being even more annoying. He snipes the last hit. That's another 110 gold swing because the gold goes to him and not the Terrorblade. Another 110 gold swing. I know I'm like really making this seem good, but that's because it is. Like, even though he's killing no one, the amount of damage he's doing right now is incredible. I can't stress how good I think blocking camps is. I think it is the future of Dota, frankly. And I honestly believe that maybe in the next 1.5 to 2 years, this mechanic might be removed. Because I personally believe there's a chance Dota becomes so much about blocking camps that it will become almost unfun. And I think for a bit, abusing this will be incredible if you are one of the early adopters. I'm not going to say I'm 100% right. I don't know. But I believe there's a very strong chance that this gameplay of like sniping couriers and blocking camps is broken as he nearly gets another 2 couriers. Because you have to keep in mind, every courier that is 50 gold each is a 250 gold swing. Every single one of them is a 250 gold swing. And that's not including the fact that sometimes you're going to kill an item, so then they don't get their item, and then they can't ship items. Like, this is also another benefit. Because, yes, this is a grief if you do this with certain heroes, because you can't kill the couriers as fast, you can't disengage, and your hero can actually kill people. Riki can't really do any of these things in the early game. Like, it is what it is. You're just not that strong. But when you have Shard, then you get active. So let's talk now about the Shard timing. But that last 2 minutes, multiple courier sniped, multiple camps blocked, stole a centaur from the TB, provided some information. You couldn't really ask for more from a support Riki, honestly. So mid-fight breaks out here, and I would like to emphasize in this fight the item build. Because he has raindrops, he stays alive. He's going to take 1 proc of raindrops here and has a 7 wand. They're chasing him down, and he's definitely in a tough position. He's able to get tricks of the trade into his blink strike out to the silencer, good awareness to disengage, and his shard comes on courier. He's going to sleep the DP, which didn't do too much, but keep in mind, every time you sleeping dart someone, it's a 12-second cooldown. It slows them for 4 seconds after they wake up for 30%, and it does 150 damage. So it's honestly a good amount of damage as well. It's a solid amount of damage. From there, he's going to continue to kite out, waiting for someone to overextend. The Ember Spirit goes in really deep here, and he sees this as an opportunity to punish it. And that's exactly what they do. They actually force out a Sunder. He gets a really nice sleep, once again, to keep the Ember Spirit in position, and they're able to drop the Ember. I think eventually they take him out here. Yeah, he just ran out of remnants and gets slowed down and eventually taken out as they're able to... the birds die. But he's able to get another sleep onto the Rubik, and they finish him off as well. Now, moving into the mid game, you want to lead the fights as Riki. In your pubs, you should be placing down extremely deep wards in the enemy jungle, and then pinging people who show on those wards, or at least pinging people who you find, right? Just with the nature of your invisibility. And that's exactly what Soxa does here. He sees the DP farming, but bumps into the Rubik. The Rubik clearly sees him here because he preemptively shield crashed, fearing for his life, but he's going to set up for the kill. I like how he tried to blink strike out there, guys. Keep in mind, you're not really trying to do a lot of right-click damage. The main value is just putting down good smoke screens, and then sleeping dart, and then frankly chilling. You can finish off kills, but don't commit very hard. You typically want a sleeping dart, smoke screen, and then kind of go AFK unless there's a low HP support. And this is one of the most annoying things about Riki. You try to kill him, but you have to be so afraid of trying to kill him, because if you can't burst him, what ends up happening is exactly this. He sleeps you into a smoke screen. The smoke screen is frankly huge, and you're slowed coming out of the sleeping dart, because that's what sleeping dart does, and yeah, you just get chopped down. Frankly, Stormstormer just, I guess, underestimating the Riki. I think a lot of people, frankly, underestimate Riki support and how good Sleeping Dart is, how long of a duration is, and then it disables you for 7 seconds, technically, right? Which is insane. They're able to get the tier 2 tower off this. Now, moving on towards minute 18 here, this is where the camp blocking really comes into play. Sentry wards last a really long time, so it's not like when you put them down, they're only going to block 2 or 3 camps. They can block way more than that, 6, 7 camps. If they last the full duration. And so you'll see here, the TB just cleared his triangle in the last minute, and he's going to come back in minute 18 expecting the camps to respawn. Well, joke's on Watson, there's no camp there, there's no large camp, he's going to walk over here, right, kill the midwave, whatever, he's going to walk here, no camp. All of a sudden, you just lose like 400 or 500 gold, that's it, for 3 sentry wards, which costed you 150. And you might argue, oh, but then you don't have the sentry wards to deward. It's true, but on the opposite end of that, if the enemy wants to unblock their camps, they have to use 3 sentries. So they run into the same problem, right? Like, yeah, technically their sentries are in decent positions to get observer ward D-wards, but if you're like decent, you just don't stack the obs and the sentries. And then like, yeah, it just becomes a game of they have to place defensive sentries. They have to waste their time walking around D-warding sentries. And by the way, when they D-ward the sentries, they also have to show, because you have to click the sentry and it gives vision of your hero. So it's another advantage that you get out of it, as Watson once again is gonna come back up here, try to farm the triangle, and there's no camps. So for 2 minutes straight, Watson, it wants to farm the triangle, and there's no camps. And if you think this is a small deal, you don't understand how important it is to hit specific timings as a carry player. It's all about timings. You gotta hit your timings. He has lost out on 5 camps at this point from 3 sentry wards. And that's the power of the Riki. I also kind of respect how much of a Chad Soxa is. He sees that the Terrorblade is showing top, so I guess he assumes that they're just not ready. Oh, the Ember also shows bottom, so he just kind of Chad runs up the hill, finds the Rubik, easy kill, right? Easy kill. It gets them off to a really nice start on this fight. From there, has to chill a bit, sleeping dart up in 1 second, so he's looking for an opportunity to get a sleep. I honestly don't know why he blinks onto the DP here. Kind of doesn't make sense, but whatever. He smoke screens her and finishes her off. Right, I understand why you would try to burst her after you sleeping dart, but typically you want to sleeping dart and then decide if you're going to blink in, not the opposite way around. So I didn't really the reason why blinking in is really dangerous, guys, is typically you're just going to get hit by random AoE spells that people are throwing out into the middle of the fight. So that's why you almost never want to blink strike in. Just get value out of the smoke screens. Don't commit your hero too frequently. It's a bad idea. And dude, this guy's just so annoying. Like, he's so annoying. In this clip here as well, I mean, they're chasing the CK. He puts down a sentry to make sure that they don't see him. Drops the smoke, and it's like, now this Tiny's just stuck. And what do you know? The Tiny's gonna get initiated on and die. Yeah. It's just like, I guess Tiny's dead. And now he hits level 10. And at level 10, you have 2 options. You can max out the smoke screen, which he does do to get the cooldown a bit lower. Or you can take smokescreen radius. I think people typically go 4-4-1 into the talent, and that's the most common build. And yeah, that's going to be about the end of today's video. We're going to see one more team fight here where they're going to eventually manage to breach the high ground, but I just really wanted to show you guys how dominant this hero is in the mid game. Like, even smokescreen against something like DP, who really relies on Spirit Siphon to keep herself alive, is an extremely hard counter in the mid game. Especially with a lot of these builds going around right now that don't involve BKB. Like, a ton of offlaners just don't buy BKB nowadays, right? It's a massive problem because you can't Guardian Greaves off smokescreen. You can Guardian Greaves off the sleeping dart slow, but that's it, right? And you just get stuck. And I've seen it time and time again. Every time I watch this Riki hero, these heroes like these Embers and these Tusks, who are typically very hard to get on top of, hard to kill off due to their mobility and their ability to disengage, just die. They die, and they don't expect to die because they're not used to Riki support. And that's a big X factor you have going right now. The fact that players are just simply not used to playing against Riki. All right, and that's going to be about the end of today's video. I think I already said that, but I do want to quickly say at level 15, when you get Aether Lens on Riki, and I kind of like his item build. Oh, he also gets the Psychic Headband, even more cast range. But he's so tanky, 1600 HP, invisibility. It's so hard to kill him. 2 disengaged spells. It's really, really hard to kill Riki. And then at level 15, you get 4-second smokescreen cooldown, which brings it to a 7-second cooldown. And this smokescreen is massive. And one more thing about smokescreen is they picked up Terrorblade here, which I think they picked as somewhat of a response to Visage to try to beat it in lane. But the problem is, Terrorblade doesn't want to buy BKB. Even if he does buy BKB, his illusions don't get BKB. So these illusions just have a 75% mischance. You can't hit anything. Like, 75% mischance might as well be 100%. You know what I mean? You're never, ever bursting anyone in from this range. And that's like a huge thing for me. There's just a lot of carry heroes that don't want to buy BKB. For instance, like Slark in a lot of games doesn't want to buy it till his 4th, 5th item, and he's completely countered by smokescreen in every way, right? When he commits to pounce in, you smokescreen. And it's not a large committal once you're level 15. It's a 1-second downtime. So these heroes just basically cannot play in a Riki. As long as you play defensive and you don't overcommit, you're going to make these heroes practically unplayable. As you'll see him go in here. Once again, I don't know why he blink strikes in so much. I really don't. Honestly, I even don't like it. But another smoke screen comes out. They find the Terrorblade. GG is called. And yeah, that's going to be the end of today's video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.
And that's all. But remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the Game Leap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.